everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into Carol's Daily Sauce. Please do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to click on the bell to be reminded of all of the videos I upload. Please remember that sharing is caring, and feel free just to share the information out. I am a channel that does quite a bit of things. I do a word of the week, which is what I will be doing today. I also do reactions, real lives. I do cook with me's. My niche is anything that I want it to be because I am not restricted. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started into this video. The word of the day is Atelophobia. Atelophobia is spelled Atelophobia. We know that phobia, phobia, indicates that there is a fear of something. This word, atelophobia, is when persons suffer and deal with the fear of imperfection, the fear of not being good enough. The word atelophobia is a anxiety disorder. So all of the symptoms, all of the things that persons feel in the act of having to do anything, sweaty hands, raced heartbeat, all comes from an engrossed need to try to be perfect. Everything that they do, anything that they do, they have an actual fear of imperfection. Now we know, most of us know, that none of us are perfect. None of us. All of us have flaws. All of us have things that we could possibly work on, work out, fix up, polish up. You know, all of us have things like that we could work on. But these particular persons, Atelophobians, are really, really hard on themselves. They're probably their biggest critics. And what they do is they suffer so hard. They suffer so hard from the fear of not being good enough. They feel as if their existence is a waste of space. Wherever they stand, wherever they sit, wherever they lay, they don't even feel like that they even deserve to be in existence. Personally, I feel like this is a very, very sad life because everybody that is living deserves to be in existence. The only person that can negate for us whether or not that we should live, to me, is not the judge. And y'all don't want me to get into the just us system. The judge, to me, is God, and he's the only one that can dictate to us whether or not we are worthy of living. If in fact that you are waking up every single day, God has purpose for you and you are supposed to be here. These folks that suffer with atelophobia don't want to have to be seen as a disappointment to anyone. They don't want to feel as if something that they did, they suggested, did not work. They don't want to be a disappointment to others. Atelophobians literally, as I said, feel as if their being is a waste of space. They also feel that they never, ever will be good enough. Some examples of atelophobians are young girls who date guys and feel like I wasn't good enough for him. If you are dating someone and you're feeling like you're not good enough for him, or perhaps he's telling you you're not good enough for him, you're probably too good for him. I just want to say that. You're probably too good. Atelophobians experience large amounts of emotional distress. And the reason they experience these large amounts of emotional distress is because of the high standards and the pressure that they put on themselves to be perfect, not really realizing that no one is. They carry a deep fear that is embedded deep within them, and it literally impairs their life. Some of the things that they do is when there are times that they are to go on job interviews, they will in fact call, make the appointment for the job interview or not, out of fear of not being able to perfect the interview. But if they have a little bit of oomph, it's a good day, I'm going to go ahead and call and make an appointment for this job. I need to start working. They will make the appointment, verify the appointment with the person as if they're planning to go. When the day before comes and the interviewer is calling them and asking them, are they going to come to the appointment? They'll say yeah, but they never show up because they feel as if they're going to fail it. They're not going to shine through the appointment. It's just a very deep embedded illness that they actually carry. And it's so sad. What we have to do is we have to literally think about some of the things that those that are dealing with atelophobia deal with. You know, some of the things that are probably regular to us, we're used to doing them. For instance, when you are on your job and you're working with someone who is an atelophobian, they and you are together as a team. Lord, we have to hope that they are not your only team member, because they will not even come to work on the day that you're supposed to be working on it. The day that it's due, they're definitely not going to come, because if anything is wrong with it, they do not want to be blamed for any parts of it. They don't want any parts of what they think is going to be negativity, whether they have even heard it or not. They expect it. Most of these people and others who have fears and issues with feeling really bad about themselves, a lot of times can seek therapeutical counseling for help, especially for the phobias. And what they do is they tend to allow them to face the phobias through practices and things like that and role play, and then they overcome them. Prime example, I had a fear of snakes. I wanted to know where that fear of snakes came from. That fear of snakes came from the time when I was in elementary school and I was about 6 or 7. We had a show and tell, and there was a guy who brought a rubber snake, and he went way out of his way to make sure that I was engrossed. He went way out of his way to make sure that I was scared to death, and I was. When it came time to pass the snake around, I wouldn't even look at it. I wouldn't touch it. And an instructor or my teacher said, she doesn't have to look at it, because she must have recognized the fear in me. I can remember going on field trips and going to the San Francisco Reptile Museum. And I would literally be walking through the museum with my eyes closed with one of my teacher's aides, because I was petrified. I remember playing sick because I didn't want to go on the field trips, and my mother would still make me go. So phobias are real. When one is suffering with atelophobia, it's hard to deal with society. And the reason it's hard for them to deal with society, it's hard for them to function, because they're dealing and living in a false sense of reality. Nobody is perfect. You'll never be perfect, no matter how hard you try. You'll never be perfect, no matter how hard you try. You can polish it up, you can fix it up, you can pretty it up, but you're not going to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. I find it so hard to believe that people literally in this day and age think that they have to live or be perfect. There are times when these persons have an inability, as I said before, to work on deadlines. They have an inability to deal with people and to have lasting relationships because they feel like the relationships are not going to be perfect. They feel like they're going to fail in one area or another regarding relationships. So why even get in them? I know that it would have to be a really, really sad thing for a person to feel like my whole entire being is a waste of time. That's so sad. People that feel like that really, honestly and truly need to seek help. I am not a doctor. I've never said I was a doctor. I am a reader though. And if you have any of these symptoms in which you feel, I mean, some people can just be egotistical. Some people can just think that they're a little higher and high and mighty than what they are. And that's okay because we deal with people like that every single day. Everyone, I'm sure, has dealt with somebody that's very egotistical or very arrogant. You know, everybody has dealt with people like that. But when you get into a situation where you won't even move, you won't even do something because you have a fear of not having imperfection, you're not even living the life that God has for you. You are just really lacking in your potential. You are stunting your own growth. You are stunting your own growth. And it's sad. It's sad because none of us are perfect. Anything that a person goes through, because I think we grow through these things. We grow through them. That causes them to question who they are, that causes them to question their well-being. They need to really, really, really seek out some help because I that's the one thing in the world that I hate to see is for persons to feel that they have no self-worth, because everybody has self-worth. Just because you may not be good in one thing, trust me, you're good in something else. You know, sometimes you have these people that you think, man, they're good in everything. They are good in everything. I mean, they excelled on their tests in school. They excelled on the football field as a star football player. They're accepted into college. They got all of these scholarships. I mean, they are just completely successful. Trust me, there's something in their life that they are not mastering. In adulthood, in our adulthood, there are some things that we do perfectly well, you know, and then not perfectly, but we do pretty good, you know, with them. We've mastered them, quote unquote mastered. But there are some things that we don't do so well. I just, this right here, you guys, I'm a people person and I love people. And it's always my hope to say something that will encourage somebody, to say something that would change somebody's heart, that would change somebody's mind. Hence one of the reasons that I am very dedicated in my church, very dedicated in the community as far as, you know, helping with homeless and food giveaways and things like that. And just, you know, working with a lot of other people that I go to church with to do things, because you can change the life of the people. You can put a smile on the face of people with just one simple gesture. Just one simple gesture. So once again, Atelophobians have and experience a large amount of emotional distress. This emotional distress comes from the fear, as I said, of imperfection or not mastering something the way that they want to. They hold themselves at and in extremely high standards. They have a deep embedded fear within them that impairs them from actually living their life, because they have this false sense of reality that any and everything that it is that they partake in and do has to be perfect. That has got to be one sad life. So I'm 15 minutes in this. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and just try to discuss the 5 things that might manifest Atelophobiaism. Some of the things that may happen in our lives that might bring this about. I personally think that one of the things, and this is just my opinion, one of the things that might inflict or manifest atelophobiaism in persons is as young children, there's a good possibility that their parents was so hard on them and always pushed them to strive for the very best, which there's nothing wrong with that to me, but there's a thin line between being and having constructive criticism of what it is that your children do and driving them and pushing them, and abuse. And sometimes when you lean further on over into that abusive stage, it can affect people as they grow up. You know what I'm saying? All right, please remember that I am not a doctor. I have no doctorate degree whatsoever, and I am not diagnosing anyone. However, I do want to say this. If you notice any of these characteristics that I am mentioning, and you're dealing with depression as a result of it, if you're dealing with a raced heartbeat, if you're dealing with breaking out in sweats when you are placed in situations when you're asked to do something and you're thinking in your head, I can't do it because it won't come out perfect, you might want to go and seek some kind of help just so that you can get yourself on the right track, because you deserve to be living. So, what are phobias, first of all? Phobias are negative emotions that we have about something that inflict fear in us. Negative emotions that we have about something that inflicts fear in us. So, one of the ways that you might fall into the area of anelophobiaism is if you're terrified, you are scared to death of having flaws. All of us have them. Every last person on the face of this earth has flaws. Seriously. Some of the people that deal with atelophobia are so, and when I say sick, I don't mean, and if you're sick, I don't mean it like that. So sick in the sense of it's so heavy and engrossed deep down within them that they feel if they even try to do these things and fail, that they'll die. That's so sad. Another thing that might manifest atelophobia in you is that you make sure to avoid things where you might make a mistake. So you know what? You're basically saying, I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try to do it because I might make a mistake and I might appear as being imperfect. These persons may steer away from situations where they come across as being imperfect, no matter how big or small the task. Their only goal is appearing perfect. The third reason that may manifest atelophobiaism in someone is that they set themselves at very high standards and they are highly critical of their own work. Okay? Highly critical. So you didn't took the time and did this work, gave it your complete all, because remember, you have a fear of perfection. You have a fear of imperfection. So that says you took the time, you did it, you gave it your all. I'm quite sure everybody around you is saying it is a great job, but here you are criticizing your own work. They point out their mistakes. They make their mistakes be bigger than what they really are. That is so sad, y'all. The fourth way that atelophobiaism can be manifested is you just rather not do anything than to do something incorrect. I'm just not going to do it. If I don't do it, I don't have to worry about you saying that I did it wrong because I didn't do it. Sad. Not only did you not do it, you didn't even try. Antilophobians would rather do nothing. They'd rather procrastinate and put things off. To say the least, in the workplace, one that is suffering with atelophobia can cause problems for everybody, especially if you are working on an assignment where everybody is working together, and the assignment or project has a time constraint. This person who probably masters one particular area might call into work, might go home sick, all before the day that it's due, because they don't want to fall into imperfection. Y'all, when I think about this, I'm saddened because this is sad. People have to know we are not perfect in this world. None of us. Last but definitely not least is number 5, is the fear that they have. The fear that they have interferes with their entire life. Although we know that everybody in the world has some level of fear, we have fear in things that we do, and while doing them, we have fears a lot of time. You have to continue to move on and continue to just do the very best you can. There is no guarantee in anything that you do, in anything that you say. Even if somebody hired you to do something, told you exactly what it is that they wanted done, you did it to a T, exactly the way they requested. There are some people that are going to look at your work and not like it because it's just them. Some people just are not happy. But I would hope that people don't fall into atelophobia. I would hope, because guess what? The reality is there is not one perfect person walking on the earth today. Not one. I don't care how good you look. I don't care how good you smell. I don't care how fly you can lay down them baby hairs on that lace front. I don't care how fly you can braid. I don't care how fly you can dance. I don't care how fly you can sing. You're not perfect. No one is. So, if y'all are dealing with any of those little characteristics, do yourself a favor, because you deserve to live. You deserve to know that you are a great person. And one thing that we have to realize is that we are the only ones to be the best persons that we can be. We're the only ones. You are the only one who could be the best version of you, because God gave that job to you. With that being said, atelophobia, a fear of imperfection. Please don't fall into that. That's been our word of the week. I hope it has been interesting to you. Go ahead and put some words in the comment section. I'll be doing this every week. I don't want to do it 2 and 3 times a week. So I think that would get really, really boring and really, really old. But at least one day out of the week, I am going to be introducing a word to you. Some of y'all are genius. And when I say that, I don't mean to be sarcastic. Some of you guys have a very lengthy vocabulary. And I say kudos to you, and you may already know the definition, and if there are any types of illnesses that are related to the words that I bring, go ahead and put those comments in there and let me know what it is that you may have experienced, and people that you may know that may be experiencing or may be doing and being these persons that we are discussing in our words of the day. And it may not be a person. It may not be a person. We may be doing other things, We just know that there will be a new word of the day. I keep saying word. There will be a new word of the week every week for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, the word that we discussed on today, Atelophobia, the fear of imperfection. It is spelled Atelophobia. B as in Bob, IA. Thank you. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.